Maybe 10 years ago. In his face 10 years ago. Anyway, the rent boys of Siem Reap. Let's talk about them. So there's many nuances to this, which I'm going to speak about on my other channel, as in why I did this, what I was avoiding, what I've learned. But for the sake of this channel, to keep it fun, dramatic, and full of dopamine hits, I will just tell you the story. So, I was sober for 8 days, smoky smoke, smoky smoke. And I really went into it, you know, I really like, okay, I'm smoking, like, and I was very open to it. Usually when I smoke, I get lots of anxiety and shame, but this time I was just loving it. And then obviously when I smoke, the first thing that happens is a tingle in my pinar that tells me to go on Grindr and start the tug session. So I'm doing that, and then I'm also falling in love with Cambodia, noticing that the people are energetically very different to where I'd be in Vietnam for 6 months, and also genetically, like they're just a lot better looking. They have cheekbones, they don't have flat pan faces, as in pan 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 pan. And I'm like, damn. And you know, I can even notice like the bits of love addiction coming up, the story of like, oh, maybe I could have a partner in Cambodia, like just ridiculous, absolute story, absolute coping. But you know, it was coming up. So I kind of went on Grindr with a sort of, I want to tug, I want to shag, and maybe I even want to meet someone. And this was very much a 24-hour energy. It's completely past now. But I'll speak into that more on my other channel. Okay, so what happened? I met 2 people that I'm going to tell you about. And the reason I'm telling you about this is, one, just to create some content. But actually, because it should be really good content if I do a good job, because it's fascinating. Like the cultural differences are just fascinating. So first of all, the first thing to note is obviously Grindr is a very seedy, very dark place. And if you go on Grindr in the UK, maybe 1 in 100 people will be rent boys. Well, out here, it's 9 out of 10. It's 9 out of 10. Now, some of them put it in their profile if they're good looking. But if they're not so good looking, then they have to sort of trick you. So they'll spend ages chatting to you. And then you'll arrange to meet. And then it's like, you'll pay me. Yes? And it's like, man, I've just spent half an hour chatting to you. Like, no, of course I'm not going to pay you. You're not super hot. So this isn't me claiming some sort of moral standard. Oh, I'd never pay for sex. All right, that's just repression. Like, of course, it's easier to just pay for sex. Like, why? If you have the funds and you can't be arsed with human bullshit, i.e., dating, then why would you not just chuck a 10 or 20 quid at something? Because that's what because that's what it is out here. To just get your physical needs met, like any other pretense, any other moral you have around it, like yeah, obviously if you're wanting to date, that's a totally different thing. But if you're wanting to bang, then obviously the best way to do it is to just pay someone. And it works for everyone, you know, they get a good wage, you get your end away, everyone's a winner. Okay, so first guy, so I'm kind of in love addiction mode. I'm kind of in like, I want a cute, pretty twink that I can wrap my arms around and feel like I love him, and then realize that, you know, we have nothing in common and there's nothing to say, and by the 3rd time I see him, he's totally boring and I'm not even attracted to him. That's basically the story that always plays out. So, the first one, ironically, is Vietnamese. Unbelievable. Don't know how old he was, anything. It's so hard to age from out here because they look so young. Anything from 19 to 22. So, you know, young looking, twinky, skinny, sexy, all that. And we arranged to have intimacy. We arranged to do the giggity, what's the 90-day fiance, the skiddly pop or something like that. We arranged to do a skiddly pop. Skiddly poop, I think it was. And you know, that's what we're meeting up for. That's what we're meeting up for. Like, why would you arrange that and then expect something else? So he comes round. And the first big culture, so he's nice, he can speak English, he's nice looking, I'm feeling good. Usually when someone comes around and I have these intentions, when they actually come, I'm like, oh God, what am I doing? But no, he walked in and it felt good. And we're out there chatting, and he's never smoked before. And he's like, oh, can I smoke with you? So that's quite a big moment, someone's first smoke, and you know, talking him through it, making sure he goes slowly, all this, and that all went really well. And then, the first cultural thing I noticed, which is just bizarre to me, but this is absolute proof for everything we value, everything we think, it's just conditioning, it's just the culture that we're in. So to them, it's attractive to have first, like, well, definitely this one long. I notice in Thailand, a lot of them just have a long fingernail here. I'm talking about men. Some of them have all of their fingernails, not like acrylic, but they're natural, but they're like really long like a woman. So obviously to me, that's just repulsive, but it's conditioning. Like, we're conditioned on a man that's repulsive. Out here, they're conditioned that that's beautiful. So, he didn't actually have that. Sorry, I'm jumping to the next one. His nails might have been a bit long, but nothing ridiculous. I wasn't paying this guy. This guy was like, he was interested in me, I was interested in him, and we'd arranged to do the skiddly poop. So we're out there having a smoke, and that's all fine. And then the first thing I noticed, so this is like a stereotypical twink that looks in the mirror all day, every day, maybe even wears makeup, like proper batty boy. So I've got a fly that's obsessed with ruining my life, but only because I'm letting it ruin my life. So, you know, so perfectly trimmed, like, we'll put loads of effort into his hair. But then there's this thing out here which I just find so repulsive. I only really see it on older men or men that don't care for themselves. I've never seen it on a gay boy, especially not a twinky, prim, proper, well-trimmed, really cares about his appearance gay boy. He's got like, it's really hard to describe. So the hair out here, it's different to ours. It's like pubes. Not so much here. It is still more strawy up here for sure. Like more like straight. But their facial hair is like pubes. And they let their pubes grow really long. Like, again, I find it repulsive. Like, just like spikes of pubes everywhere. It's just like, why would you not trim that? But that's another thing, which, you know, I've accepted they don't trim the pubes. But you know, I bet this lad does. I bet this lad trims his pubes, but their neck hair is like pubes. And he has these, and what I mean by that is like these random, thin, whispery hairs. Like, it's not like a beard, it's not a chunk. It's like, from my perspective, it's gross. So I see that and I'm like, can I even kiss this guy? Like, like, there's no way I can go anywhere near his neck. And like, straight away, I'm in like, oh God, how do I get rid of him? Now, when we were out smoking, he was on his phone constantly. And it didn't bother me too much because I was more interested in the smoke. I wasn't really interested in anything he had to say, so that didn't bother me. But then we get to the bedroom and he's still holding his phone. I have to take his phone out of his hands. Physically, I have to take it. I'm like, phone down, phone down. His English isn't great, it was good enough. I have to physically take his phone out of his hands and put it on the side. And I'm like, if you're with me, no phone. And this, obviously, to him is, he's never even comprehended this before. The idea of not just staring at his phone constantly, even while he's shagging, probably. I mean, well, we'll get to that. And, you know, the idea of someone telling him that he can't have his phone, like, obviously, he's never come across anyone who stands in their power before. Because this is NPC land. It's beautiful and they're wonderful people, but it is NPC land. So then, so I'm expecting, so we both get down to our boxers straight away. So, you know, and we've already arranged what we're doing. We're doing the scoodly poop. Scoodly poop. So anyone who's sad enough, and I don't watch it anymore, obviously, but 90 Day Fiancé, when I go in the void, is sometimes like my escapism. It's just amazing, amazingly trashy. And scoodly poop is, you know, if you've watched that, you'll know what I'm referring to. But obviously, it means doing the deed. So I'm lying down, and obviously I'm expecting him to lie down with me, and then we'll start kissing, and I'll avoid his disgusting neck hair, and then I'll lick him and stick my penis up his bumhole. That's, you know, what I'm envisaging. But he doesn't come into my arms. He sits next to me, sits upright. And you know, there's a bit of small talk going on, and then he gets his phone. He starts looking at his phone. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm literally like, what are you doing? Are you with me or are you with your phone? And he doesn't get it at all. So I have to make it clear. I have to say, you know, you're either with me or you're with your phone. Like you're not having it both ways. You can leave. So I take the phone out of his hand and I put it down. He then lies next to me. And I'm like, okay, fine then. And then the next thing, he's grabbed his phone again. So then hang on, I'm jumping ahead of stage. Right, so he then goes, can I use your toilet? He spends half an hour in my toilet. Half an hour. Douching. So that means squirting water up his bumhole to remove any poo particles. Now, in fairness, this is something I've never been very good at. I'm, you know, very au fait with getting poo on people's penises. It doesn't really bother me at all, unless it's a long-term partner. I kind of think it's funny. So I am no expert when it comes to douching. In fact, I'm a very lazy doucher. I barely even bother. But, you know, it might be a 30-second squirt. Or, you know, in my most keen times, I might have spent 5 minutes douching. But this whole half an hour thing is absolutely alien to me. Now, Asians and bathrooms is a whole weird cultural difference, which I haven't even got my head around. They like the floor to be wet. They spray the floor wet. Madness. They spend ages in there. So that is a thing anyway. Like in Vietnam, like the shower rooms, they change in the showers. They take half an hour. It's very annoying. So the whole Asian bathroom thing is fairly, well, for me, annoying, but let's just say a cultural difference. Half an hour douching. So one, I'm like, wow, this is unbelievable. As in like how long you're spending. But you know, okay, fine, I will just sit here and meditate, no worries. I think I even fell asleep by the time it came out. So it didn't really bother me, but let's just say, you know, it was a bit weird. But the one thing in all this, the silver lining is, well, he's douching, and he's douching. Like, he's douching that bumhole. So, you know, clearly he's intending to have my penis up there, so that's great news. So I'm like dead set, like, scoodly poop is happening. And then he comes back and he finally lies down and he's kind of he's in my arms, and then the next minute he's got his phone. So I say to him, I take it off him and I say, listen, this is serious for me. You can be with your phone, but not in my flat. Or you can be with me. And he kind of realized that for the first time, he realized how serious I was about this. And he didn't put it down, so I said, okay, this isn't gonna work, I need you to leave my flat. And he goes into this energy. And I'm like, well, I've made it very clear, you know what my boundaries are. The phone is a big boundary for me, it's a big problem for me. I'm not going to change. It's up to you what you do. So then he puts the phone down, but nothing's happening. Like, I'm not here to talk to you. I'm not here to just cuddle you. No, I'm here to stick my penis in your bottom. So, he's being fidgeted. He's like moving away on the moves and stuff. He's just not reciprocating. So I say to him, you know, you came here for scoodly poop. Scoodly poop doesn't seem to be happening. So what are we doing here? And he's like, oh, I just want to talk, And I'm like, no, I don't want to talk. I want to fuck your ass. Oh, no, I just want to talk. And I go, okay, that's fine. You know, I'm not going to force you to do anything, obviously. But just to be clear, and as a matter of integrity, I would like to reflect to you, obviously I didn't use this language, you know, that you're not sticking by your word. That we arranged something, we were both very clear on what we wanted. This is what we arranged, scoodly poop, and it's such a good word. And you're not following through with that, and that's fine. If you've changed your mind while you're here, that's fine. You don't have to do what you said, but don't pretend you didn't say it. You know, at least take accountability for the fact that it was said, and give me your reasons why you don't want to do it now. Now, obviously, that's going to be too much for him because his reasons are probably going to be like, you stink, you haven't showered, and he can't say that because he's an NPC. But you know, I'm not just going to sit here and be like, yeah, chat, stroke, when we arrange something completely different, i.e. my dick in your ass. So, at that point I said, this isn't working, we want different things, and you're on your phone. Get out. I said it nicely, but I think I got to a point where I did say, you have to get out of my flat now. And then he left, and it was all fine and nice. But just so bizarre, like the whole douching for half an hour when you're not gonna let me stick my penis up your ass, like why are you doing that? I mean, he must have been intending to let my penis go in his bum, because why would he have done that? But then nothing happened afterwards, other than me taking his phone off him again. Like, was that enough to stop him wanting my pee-pee in his ass? Like, I don't know. Penis, not pee-pee. I wasn't going to piss in his ass. Unless he wanted me to. I don't think I'd bother. Maybe 10 years ago. I had a shat in his face 10 years ago. Anyway. So, you know, I'm in the mood. I've told myself Scoodly Poop's happening. All the signs were that Scoodly Poop is happening, and then Scoodly Poop didn't happen. So I'm just like, so now it's like 11 p.m. at night, I'm really, like getting really horny. Because it's the first time I've opened up to these energies in 8 days, like they're very intoxicating. Like now I'm still smoking and I'm not on Grindr, I've no desire. I didn't even talk yesterday, I don't think. But when you first let it in again after being abstinent, it's like, whoa, intoxicating. So I'm on it. I'm on it like a carb on it. So then I just start messaging everyone. And someone messages back and they want like 25 quid for sex. And they're not even that good looking. Like they're okay. They've got like a 5-incher. You know, you're not paying for a 5-incher. So this is a top now. So I'm gonna get my ass fuked. But only by a 5-incher. It's like, well, what's the point really? If I'm gonna lube up and, you know, just go through the whole process of meeting someone, I want at least 6 inches. And that's like bottom of the barrel. Really, I want 8. You know, if we're gonna do this, let's do it, you know? Anyway, obviously in Asia, options are limited on that front. Some of them do have like fairly big ones, but you know, they're few and far between. So, he wants 25 quid for some time with his 5 inches. So I say, I'll give you 20 quid. $20, sorry. I'll give you $20, 15 quid, for an hour's massage on me, obviously, and 20 minutes of Scoodly Poop afterwards. He says, okay. So he comes around. Now, I'm not expecting a professional masseuse. You know, I've met this guy on Grindr. But I am expecting a massage and him to put some effort in. He comes and he's got all his nails out here. Doesn't speak a word of English. That's not a criticism, that's just, you know, a matter of fact. This is, from my perspective, a criticism, although I appreciate it's their culture, and for me to criticize their culture is meaningless and pointless because I just don't understand it, and we're conditioned completely differently. It's not about rights and wrongs, it's just about what you're used to. I'm not used to men with long nails, I find it repulsive. That's my conditioning. From the cult that I'm in. The culture. So, straight away I'm like, well, you're not massaging anything with those nails. Like, what are you talking about, an hour's massage? Like, does he think that... I think, like, what they do is they say massage, meaning Scoodly Poop. But I'm like, no, I actually want a massage. And then we'll do Scoodly Poop as well. So I assume he agrees, thinking that when he gets here, we're just going to Scoodly Poop and I'll forget about the massage bit. But I'm not. Like, the negotiation included an hour's massage, $20. That included an hour's massage. And suddenly, again, the contract has been broken because you've turned up with daggers as hands. Like, you're not massaging me with daggers. Are you mental? So I point at his fingernails and I translate on my phone, you can't massage with those nails. So we can just Scoodly Poop. I'll give you $10. And he's like, and I'm like, them's the deals. So then obviously he comes in, And we just get straight to it. We get straight to schoolie pooping, half an hour, it's decent, it's all right, it's worth a tenner, £8. You know, just great in terms of like, I want schoolie poop, there's £8, I have schoolie poop. Like, it's just so much better than all the nonsense in the West. This total dance of the persona, the personality, the persona, the mask we wear, and all the nonsense that people go through just to get their end away. Like £8, bosh. So, I think there's not much to report in terms of the schoolie poop itself. It was perfectly acceptable, bordering on average. Yeah, that happened. So the first cultural difference is obviously the nails. And just the fact that they're all money boys. Them boys. And then he goes into the bathroom and the whole Asian bathroom thing occurs again. Nothing like before. You know, he's in there for a long time. And then the other Asian thing, selfies. So obviously, you know, for a Cambodian that's willing to sell his 5 inches for $8, presumably, well, definitely from the way he acted, this apartment is pretty impressive to them. So he's in so of all the places he wants to take a selfie, it's the bathroom. I mean, cultural differences is all I can say, because obviously if you're going to take a selfie, you're going to do it there. Or in front of a big TV maybe, or you know, there's the big TV, here's the really nice sofa, you know, like all these props that one could use, but I would have thought that's the best prop. He goes into the bathroom. And to be fair, he's doing some shit I've never seen before. This is a very, you know, Asians and selfies, they just love them. You know, NPCs. But lovely, lovely, amazing NPCs. I love them, I'm not knocking them, but you know, if anyone is going to report on Asia with any honesty, you're going to have to acknowledge the fact that it is the land of NPCs. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, I'm just saying it is what it is. And, you know, NPCs weren't that bad until they really divided and conquered in the West. You know, we didn't all see NPCs as the despicable people they are in the West until 2020, when the Great Divide happened. You could say Brexit was the start of it, like this dividing of society. Well, that hasn't happened out here. So NPCs aren't really a problem, they're just really nice people. And it doesn't really matter that they don't stand for anything and just go along with everything they're told, because what they're told out here, like, yeah, sure, I'm sure there's some lies, but you know, it's for the greater good of the country. Like, they're very patriotic and they're still building something, you know, they haven't got to the stage of HR jobs and blue hair and all that nonsense. My identity, my gender, you know, they're nowhere near that. A few of the middle class ones have got blue hair. Yeah. A very few. So he's been in the bathroom for ages, and then I notice he's taking selfies, and he's doing it like I can't even do what he did, but like he's in front of a mirror, so he's obviously using a mirror, and then he's got his phone behind his head, upside down, doing all these poses. Like, I imagine they'd have been very good selfies, apart from the fact they were in the bathroom. And it's a nice bathroom. I guess if he shows that to his friends, I don't know what he does with them. Like, do they put them all on Instagram? I don't know what they do with all these selfies. All I know is that all they ever do is take selfies. The younger generation. Obviously not the older generation. Which is really sad to see. It's all getting very westernized, unfortunately. So, I mean, that's the end of my story, really. I think this was 2 nights ago, maybe 3 nights ago. I feel like I might be missing something out that I wanted to share. But yeah, basically the main difference is they're all vent boys. When I say all, I mean 90% of them are vent boys. You know, so at first I go into it with naivety, like, oh, this one's cute, and I feel the little love addiction flutter, and I allow myself to get lost in it. And, you know, I'm talking with this stupid potential fantasy, which is just stupid, and it's just like what I needed in that moment. It's not something I would actually fully lean into or act upon. But this fantasy of like potential love, I mean, oh my God, I'm just using simple language. Like on my other channel, it's going to be way more nuanced than this. And they're all the good looking ones are vent boys. You know, the only ones that aren't vent boys are the munters. It's not quite true. There's a few good looking ones who genuinely, like, you know, don't need the money, want proper connection, But also they're basically going to end up being a rent boy because they're going to expect, you know, you to spend all your money on them. Not all your money on them, but they're going to expect to be treated really well, which is the culture out here. It is the way out here when a foreigner gets with a, you know, but it's like, what I like about Asia, like people say it's corrupt, but actually it's more corrupt in the West, but it's just not on the surface. You don't see it and it's only available to the elites. Whereas out here, whatever corruption there is, it's on the surface and it's kind of almost available to everyone, which is obviously much better. And it's the same with dating. Like people say, oh, it's all about the money, it's transactional. Well, what do you think relationships are in the West? Like they're completely transactional, but you don't admit it. You pretend. You pretend they're not. You pretend that you're not valuing someone based on what they can offer you and then they're doing the same with you, you know? And for a lot of women in particular, or a lot of people, but particularly women, finances is a massive part of that, of course. So basically it's just more deceitful in the West. Out here it's much more honest. So, you know, basically the expats I know that have Thai wives long term, you know, their wedding proposal is a negotiation. It is an honest business meeting, rather than all this pretending, I love you, oh great, but you know, I'm still on Tinder and shagging those guys behind your back. And I'm gonna divorce you 5 years after we get married and take half your stuff and make your life hell and turn your kids against you. So, you know, don't judge what you don't understand based on, you know, your crap society, is what I would say. So that's the story of the Siem Reap rent boys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it enough to drop a like, a comment. Even if you want to tell me I'm a disgusting fag, that's fine. Just comment, because all I care about is the video. I don't care about you and your opinion at all, unless you're a good one, of course. Yeah, you know, just support the video however you can. I'd really appreciate it. I'm struggling a bit YouTube-wise at the minute. If it wasn't for my lives, I'd be a little bit worried. So if you appreciate the channel, appreciate what I do, appreciate my honesty and how I really share it all with you, even the bits that might be a bit hard to hear, like penis in butt, or have shat on faces, well, just appreciate that, you know, you can't have it all. You know, you can't have authenticity and honesty and not have it all, because I will give it you all. Big love, click some buttons, see you later. Those of you that aren't completely in the external and are interested in internal reflection, here's what I posted about it on my other channel, more nuanced, deeper, speaking into the psychology behind it all. Enjoy, learn, project, do whatever you wish. So I want to speak into, right, if you just wanted the drama and the dopamine hits, then skip to this timestamp now. But I hope you're going to be interested in why this happened. I know a lot of you are here to just, you know, be entertained, escape yourselves, and to judge and point your finger. And that's fine, you can skip to that timestamp for that. And there's going to be loads that you can judge and point your finger at, so you'll love it. But really, this channel is created for those that are learning to or are on the self-observation journey, the shadow work journey, the enlightenment journey, the spiritual journey. So I want to speak in to the nuances in this. So, duality, first of all, good and bad. I used to come from a very dualistic state, a very this is right, that is wrong, and this is until very recently that this has started shifting to a more state of seeing the whole spectrum, not judging any of it, realizing that it's all part of me, oneness, consciousness, and that actually bad things are only here to push for good anyway. So, for example, tyrannical laws, tyrannical governments in the West. Wow, this is ridiculous. Oh my God. Tyrannical governments in the West are forcing people to wake up. The fixing of the World Cup is forcing people to wake up. The fact that all the European teams are African is forcing people to wake up. So is it really bad? You know, this is, you know, kind of the first grasping point of it, I guess. So, when I was dualistic, I used to... So, obviously I was a complete sex addict. I was completely lost in it, which is actually love addiction. It's actually coming from, you know, wanting to find love, which you can never find in another if you haven't found it in yourself first. But obviously, when we're unconscious, we think that there's this thing called love that another can provide. So it starts off as love addiction, but of course, when you're completely broken, you don't know how to be in love or to connect or anything like that. So it turns up being asexual addiction. So I lived in that for 10 years, 15 years maybe. And then while I've been healing, and I don't know why I do this, but I kind of also do know why I do this. This is the paradoxical nature of life. So for the last 5 years, I've judged it. I've judged, one, gayness, but two, just intimacy for the sake of intimacy, or not intimacy, I suppose, more like asexual pleasure, fiction on a penis, escapism, distraction, judged it, shamed it, made it bad. Well, that's all shifted. Oh, whoa, oh my God. I've even seen an ostrich before. Oh my God. So I no longer walk in this bad, this story of good and bad. I no longer judge or shame anything. So suddenly that's opened up like, oh, well, maybe. But also, I do recognize that presence is always the most peaceful place. It's always going to teach you the most. There's no teacher like silence. Lee's pretty good, but Lee's very good. But silence is even better. So there's still an acknowledgement, without making it bad or shaming it, that to seek short-term asexual activity is a form of escapism and isn't how I want to be living my life. But at the same time, if it comes up and I feel a pull to it, great. Now also there's the whole heart opening thing I've been going through, which if you've been watching either channel really, unless you're a total moron, you would have seen that, particularly this channel. So and then there's Cambodia. So as my heart opens, I move to Cambodia, where the people are more beautiful in every way than Vietnam. So spiritually way better, mentally much calmer, much more beautiful people. And physically, they have cheekbones. They don't have the pan slam face that you see in so many parts of this continent. The flat face. No. Cambodians have facial features. They have cheekbones and bone structure and all sorts. So when I got to Cambodia, my heart just exploded straight away. That popped right open, and I started noticing attractive people. And I did start going into the love addiction story. I did start allowing that fantasy to occur within me again, as an escapism, as a like, oh, what if, oh, wouldn't it be lovely? Now that's different from holding it as a possibility. I do hold it as a possibility. I do think I will love again. I do think I'll experience an intimate relationship again. I don't know what gender it's going to be with. Right now it would have to be with a male. But I can see the way my journey is going that potentially it could be with a female at some point. So maybe that's what I'm waiting for. I don't know. I'm just open. I'm just open. I don't try and control or direct anymore. That's obviously all of the ego, all of fear, all of trying to control, which we don't really do anymore. So good. What happened? So I'm recording this 2 weeks on from my night of asexual activity. And so now I can really see it for what it was and speak into it with a perspective. So I went into it. So I was sober for 8 or 10 days, and I've done a video explaining why I chose to stop being sober and what it's helped me with, also what it's taken away from me. That's either before or after this video. And yeah, so it was like I had, let's say, not let in this energy, the Santa Maria energy, the green herb energy for 10 days. And that is also very much linked to the asexual addiction energy, it's not addiction anymore, but the fantasy of escaping oneself through asexual activity. Those two things are very linked for me, the smoke and the friction on the penis. So the minute I, let's say, open the dam, it floods. So I have a couple of smokes, and straight away my dick's tingling. And I'm just like, oh, my hand starts going down there. And then I go into the story of like, yeah, I mean, it was actually love addiction. Like, it was more than just like, oh, I'm going to get my end away. It was, I want to meet someone and fall in love, which is just stupid, especially on an app. But, you know, I'm open to a beautiful being coming into my life, but I'm not going to find them on Grindr. And find them, that's conditioning. Why am I looking? Why am I not just open and knowing that it's coming if it's meant to come? Yeah, like, stop trying to force and push, control. Oh no, there's a kid shouting at the ostrich. I hate seeing that. I mean, it's only a little kid, like, you can't judge him. It's exactly what I'd have done at his age. But I really hope that ostrich pecks him on the head and teaches him a lesson. It looks like it definitely wants to peck them. Yeah, it does. Oh, I really hope it gets him. Hello! I pick you up and take you to ostrich and peck, 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 peck. No money. Oh, they're so cute. I mean, they ask for money. You know, I absolutely love Cambodians, but essentially, this is NPC land. You know, like, obviously they're way too old to be doing that behaviour. Which is fine, I'm not knocking it. It's why I love them so much, actually. You know, like, NPCs in England were fine before the Great Divide, before Brexit and 2020. You know, I used to get on with NPCs fine. But after the Great Divide, which they haven't had out here, they're not divided out here yet. There's still a collectivist community, a collectivist culture. Homogenous as well, which is obviously very important. Alright, let's try and get back to it. So I was kind of like in this love addiction fantasy slash asexual reopening of a portal that I have coped through for a long time. Suddenly like, whoa, you've opened the dam, it's flooding, you've had a smoke, you're touching your D, let's get on Grindr. And so I think that's it really. So the reason I wanted to introduce it this way is to give people a chance to not just watch it as drama. Like, watch it as drama if that's what all you're capable of, that's fine. But I know there's some of you here that are capable of more. And are, you know, already know what I'm speaking about, and now I'm speaking down to you. I'm not speaking to those people. I'm speaking to people who are like making their first tentative steps into self-observation, coming out of judgment, coming out of shame. You know, it's really here to serve you. It's really here to serve you. So I want you to, well, I hope, my hope for you is that you can observe something similar in yourself and get to know a part of yourself that you previously haven't known, or get to know a part of yourself that you have met but you need to meet deeper, so get to know it more through watching this video. I hope it helps you self-reflect.